All right, we're back 20 minutes later. So you can see here, things have begun to change even without us doing much. So some gluten has begun to form. It's now started to get nice and stretchy. It's still really warm. I fed it with warm water. Tried to keep it in a warm spot. And it still feels nice and warm to the touch, which is good because it's a cold day outside today. So I'm gonna try as much as I can to keep this cozy. So now, with a wet hand, I'm just gonna start to build a little strength and make sure I don't have any leftover lumps from mixing the dough. So I'm just gonna go around here a few times and start to stretch it, fold it. It feels nice and strong. I will probably add some water. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Get a little bit of water in before I start adding the salt. Benefit of a wetter dough is that you end up with kind of a nicer crumb. It's really pleasant when you get this custardy, glistening, soft, lacy crumb. And hydration really is kind of the key to that. Hydration and fermentation. Fermentation will help you get that big open structure, but that laciness and that softness and that really pleasant mouthfeel comes from getting hydration in the dough. So now I've got some water in. You can see it's gonna kind of separate out a little bit. I'm just gonna work that water into the dough. Until it mostly comes back together. You can kind of cut the water in a little bit like this. It'll start to come apart and you turn it, kind of bring it back together. So when we mix at tartines, what we usually do is mix for about 3 minutes in the mixer. We have huge mixers that fit all our dough in it for the day. Then we let it rest for 5 minutes. Then we mix for 3 minutes, and we let it rest for 5 minutes. So you're kind of slowly coaxing that gluten to build instead of like wrestling it into strength. So I've just gotten this kind of started to be pretty strong and build up through mixing it. So now I added a little water. So now I'm gonna let it rest for a few minutes before I add the salt. So see you in a minute.